There's a brand new event within World of Tanks console that we're going to cover in today's video. It is the Warhammer 40,000 Earn Challenge and community event that kind of was there last year. We had a similar sort of event, and this year we're going to see the same sort of event come in, whereby you've got a couple of different factions that are part of this event, and you've also got the return of obviously the Warhammer 40,000 tanks and vehicles that are available for purchase if you're interested in that universe. Of course, then you've got a variety of other commanders and stuff you can pick up too if you're interested, but the Earn Challenge, the tanks that you can actually pick up for free, how do you actually get them? Well, the personal challenge details for the Imperium. So choose this side and your service to the Imperial will be generously rewarded. You'll get boosters, commanders, war chests, cosmetics, and even the Volosad Thassaeus 2D standard commander can be yours as you advance towards the Ignis Purgatio Escalation Era 2 independent medium tank in this chain challenge. So this vehicle is absolutely amazing within Cold War and borderline overpowered to say the least, because it has a 20 round autoloader with missiles and pretty much works as you didn't expect. It's a very nice tank in the game, and of course it's a premium where you can earn a ton of money playing it as well. So with that being said, what other details did we have? Well, here is the set of challenges that you have to complete on your way to get the Ignis Purgatio, which is that you start off, if you choose the Imperium, you will complete Command 1 or Command 2 below. So Command 1 is detect 8 vehicles in any number of battles, and Command 2 is deal 10,500 damage or more in any number of battles. So you can either complete detect 8 vehicles in any number of battles or dealing 10,500 damage in any number of battles. Obviously you can do this in 10 battles, you could do it in one game. It really depends on how well you play. But of course that's available once per account, and you'll get the Volosad Thassaeus 2D standard commander. I fully well know I may have absolutely butchered the name of this guy, but I have not looked at Warhammer 40,000 since I was about 8 years old, and probably had just about the same amount of idea as to the names of things. But either way, Imperium 2, this is the second set of the challenges. And this comes with destroy 20 enemies in any number of battles. Obviously you can't do this in one game. If you can, then you're breaking the game somehow. But Imperium 2, you can obviously get yourself 4 times Commander XP boost, and you get 5 lots of those, which is quite nice. And then you move on to Imperium 3, so you can complete Command 1 or Command 2, and you'll get the rewards, which are a Commander's War Chest, a Courage and Honor inscription, which you can put on your vehicles. You get 4 of those, and in order to complete it, you've either got to block 13,000 damage in any number of battles or deal 42.25 thousand damage in any number of battles. Now this is the operations that I'm starting to like the look of. These operations, these challenges, they're not just your bog standard, play 150 games, the boring stuff whereby you limit it to the amount of XP that you get and stuff like that. This one is actually based on performance in games. So if you block a ton of damage, maybe you have a game where you block 10,000 damage somehow, you complete the operation much quicker. Obviously you can still complete the operation in a reasonable amount of time, but you can do it faster if you're better, or you can do it faster if maybe you get lucky and you have an amazing game. I think this is Wargaming starting to introduce challenges that aren't just your bog standard XP ones. So I think this is a really good change from what we usually see in the game. Having 2 operational things that you can do, not just one. So you can either deal 42,000 damage, which is like your bog standard kind of, you'll get damage every game, hopefully. And then you've got the other one, which is blocking damage. So if you're playing more heavy tanks, you get rewarded. And that sort of stuff I think is valuable, because it gives you the option to choose how you want to play, as opposed to just being restricted to that one particular way of playing. And I think for challenges and stuff in the future, Wargaming should continue with this because it makes it more dynamic, makes it more interesting for us as the players than your, bog standard XP, get 100,000 XP. I mean, how boring is that? It's just a case of playing 100 games. It's not interesting whatsoever. Having the ability to, have more complex challenges is cool. And they're not complex to the point where you can't do them. They're just more interesting. Anyway, you move on to the Imperium 4 and you get yourself an emblem insignia of the Ultramarines when you get 4 of these. This looks actually really cool, to be honest. And you can complete Command 1 or Command 2, as we said. And this one is destroy 37 vehicles in any number of battles. Obviously, you could do it in 100 games. You could do it in 5. Doesn't really matter. Command 2 is assist 12,000 damage due to you spotting, so you can, maybe you want to play light tanks here and complete it. Maybe you just want to play TDs or a heavy tank or whatever it is. You can play it for the Command 1 where maybe you wouldn't get normally assistance damage due to spotting, which I think is cool. Then we move on to Imperium 5. You'll get the rewarded with an inscription, Adepta Sororitas. Probably butchered that as well, apologies. Anyway, Commander of War Chest is also available in that one as well, and you detect 15 vehicles in any number of winning battles and place in the top 10 damage dealers on your team in 25 battles. So it's really a bit of a debate as to which one you should do. In terms of you actually completing Command 1, you do have to deal 300 damage, so this avoids the complete YOLO wagon plays from light tanks in the game, just to detect vehicles. But in terms of doing it quickly, you could probably do the detect 15 vehicles pretty quickly if you're playing a medium or a light tank, or maybe even a very good view range tank destroyer. You should be able to do it reasonably quickly, as opposed to playing 25 games, which is the Command 2. Of course, once you do that, you get the rewards. Then we move on, which is Imperium 6. Imperium 6 is the one where you're actually able to pick up Sister Lucia. And you'll get 4 of these emblems, and in order to do it, you've got the same thing. You can either place in the top 10 damage dealers 25 times or earn 71,500 or more XP. Bit unfortunate that the kind of higher up ones are that we have to get XP or basically play 25 games. Kind of annoying. In my eyes, probably would have added in something that was a bit different. Again, adding in the ability to pen 2,000 shots, or probably not that many, but you know what I mean. Maybe have one that's like penetrate 100 shots or something like that, just to make it a bit more interesting, and have something else that you can go for. But unfortunately, they've kind of gone back to the XP and the playing 25 games, maybe because the rewards are more kind of getting closer to the Ignis Pagacio, that they want to make it just basically a slog towards the end. I don't know, but there's definitely better ways of doing it in my eyes. Then we've got Imperium 7, which is to actually get the tank. You get the tank, the Ignis Pagacio, alongside a Warhammer 40,000 2024 edition emblem, and you get 4 of those, not 4 Ignises, but you'll get 4 of the emblems, as well as 40,000 reasons to win, and you'll get 1 of those as a medal as well. So this is usually a singular thing that you can actually pick up in the game. So if you're a collector, definitely try and complete this one, as it may not come back ever again. Then we've got Command 1, so it's the same thing. You either earn 120,000 or more XP in any number of battles, or destroy 62 or more vehicles in any number of battles. Much better. I like that they've added in the destroy 62. You may end up doing the XP first, but it's always there if you're, able to destroy more tanks in the game, and you can focus on that, or maybe you focus just on the XP. It's really down to you. I like this. I think this is a good one to do. So that is if you pick the Imperium. So there's 2 that you can pick. So you can either pick the Ignis Pagacio as your kind of final reward, or you can pick the Teethbreaker, the tier 9 mercenary light tank. This one is for the Orcs. So siding with the Orcs will give you the chance to earn hefty rewards as you unleash your inner Wah upon the enemy. I apologize. Oh god, that was awful. With the Kroglin, the Face Grinder, 2D standard commander. I wonder what he's doing with face grinding things. Interesting. But the Teethbreaker, this is what it looks like. You can get it in the game now. It's been in the game for a while. There's no new tanks, at least in these two, that we can see. And then you've got essentially 2 drive modes. You can go in a standard mode, which is just basically, your accurate, the tank is as it is. And then you've got a turbo mode, which is like Super Saiyan speed, and it's really, really fast. It's got a 15 round autoloader. Don't worry, it's not a crazy cracked broken autoloader. It's just like a super fast firing 15 round autoloader, and it's super fast and maneuverable. I really enjoyed this tank. I thought it was something different, and different is actually good in World of Tanks. It's not necessarily overpowered or anything like that, but it is a cool vehicle to try out. And of course, if you do play World War II, this is probably the tank you're going to end up going for, since it is a World War II vehicle. Then we've got the first challenge, similar sort of thing as the previous, whereby you can either detect 8 or more vehicles or deal 10,500 damage. You get Kroglin, the commander, that is. Then you got the 4x commander XP boost by destroying 20 enemies in any number of battles. Then you've got the deal 42.25 thousand damage or assist with 8,000 damage to get a inscription War, and you get a commander war chest. And then you've got the next one, which goes from detect 45 vehicles in any number of battles or destroy 37 vehicles in any number of battles. You'll get a little emblem, which actually looks really cool as well. I like these emblems, which is called Death Guard Icon of Despair. So you can get that as well. The Death Guard being one of the factions in Warhammer 40,000, I believe. If I'm wrong, let me know. Anyway, then you've got the next one, which is Orcs 5, and this gives you the option to either penetrate 150 or more shots in any number of battles and place in the top 10 damage dealers in 25 battles. So, there we go. Penetrate 150 shots. I think this is good. So you could either play like a super fast firing tank that has low, a high amount of shot rounds per minute, or maybe you go for just a tank that has decent amount of damage and you can perform well in 25 battles. It's up to you how you want to play. Then you've got the ability to get another commander's war chest and all shall rot inscription. And then the next one is to pick up the Orc Welded Thing. This is an emblem, which is once again pretty cool. And you have to deal 55,000 or more damage in any number of battles or 71,500 XP. So pretty much the same as the previous. And then you've got the Teethbreaker itself, whereby you can either destroy 62 or more vehicles in any number of battles or earn 120,000 XP. You'll get the Warhammer 40,000 2024 emblem and the 40,000 reasons to win as well. So you get the tank and those two things. Then we've got the community event. Yep, there's a community event to go on top of this. As you progress in the challenge, you also unlock discounts for the glorious mercenary tier 10 Rogal Dawn, which is a brand new vehicle into the game. And I'll do a full review on this as soon as I can. So each enemy destroyed will grant you points towards your goal. This will be an excellent time to train your Warhammer 40,000 commanders thanks to the community events. 50% commander XP bonus, active only for Warhammer 40,000 commanders. So if you want to pick one up or buy one, it's potentially a good time to do it. Of course, I wouldn't necessarily recommend buying commanders on the game, but it's down to you. But I think having a themed commander is probably something that I'd rather spend my money on, and it doesn't hurt anyone else, It's not going to be an overpowered commander or anything like that, so that's good. Community challenge point earned. So how do you actually get it? Well, you've got the first one, which is destroy one or more vehicles in any number of battles. You'll get 1 point. Then you'll get Grim Dark Commander. So destroy one or more vehicles in any number of battles whilst commanding either of or any of the Warhammer commanders, essentially. And you get 1 point for those as well. So if you destroy one or more vehicle and you're also using a commander that's in your tank that is one of the Warhammer commanders, you get an additional point. So you can get 2 points from those, and you get a 50% commander XP bonus if you are using the Warhammer commanders. So be aware of that. It should be pretty good. Then we've got Warhammer 40,000 community event. The rewards. So what do you actually get from it? Well, first up, you do get an emblem icon of the Ultramarines. So you can get an emblem So that's for 1 million points in the community. 2.5 million gives us an emblem, which is icon of the Evil Suns. Then we've got a third, which is a day of premium to everyone, and a 15% discount on Rogel Dawn. Then we've got a 7.5 million points, which gives you another emblem with a Commander's War Chest, so that's nice. And then we've got 10 million points, gives you 5 enhanced rations and a 30% discount on Rogel Dawn. And then the 6th one is 30 million, and that will give you 2 Icon of Nurgle. And then the 7th one is 17.5 million total points, so you know, quite a few games, and that will give you 50% discount on Rogel Dawn, as well as 6 times Commander XP bonuses as well. So you don't get a tank for free, but you do get a discount on the tank that's available as part of this. But what is this tank? Well, that's exactly what we're going to have a look at now. So the Rogel Dawn, this is the vehicle that's available and up for sale. So we'll find out how much it is in a second. But the Rogel Dawn, what are the characteristics of this vehicle? What is it? Is it a heavy? Is it a medium? Is it a tank destroyer? Well, if we look at it based on what it actually looks like, I mean, it might not necessarily have your traditional kind of features, but apparently Wargaming don't want to actually give us the actual type of vehicle that it is. But by the looks of it, it looks like a TD. Because of the alpha damage. So you've got an Oppressor Cannon as your first main armament with 700 damage, 245 pen or 332 pen with its premium. So that will be a heat rat, or APCR even. That is crazy for an APCR. It's a tier 10, by the way, so it will play up to tier 10, obviously. 2,800 hit points. That makes it definitely look more like a heavy. It's got essentially a secondary weapon, which is a Rogel Dawn autocannon, so you can use a fast firing thing that has an intricate reload of 3 seconds, and it's like an auto loader, so maybe you fire your standard round and then swap to this. Then you've got a Turret 2, which is a dual barrel, which gives you 10 degrees of gun depression. It has 22 degrees of elevation, 232 pen, 304 premium pen, 85 HE, 500 damage for the APCR, and 650 for the HE. 1800 DPM puts it pretty low, but of course you've got quite a few different weapon systems that you can use. And then right is the Battle Cannon, which has 232 pen with 500 damage, same as the previous, except there's left and right battle cannons for the turret. So looks like you have the ability to use this little mini barrel over here, so, or this one here and on the other side, as well as the main cannon. So that's kind of how you can use this vehicle by the looks of things. And yeah, looks like it'll be a pretty fun one to try out, but hopefully Wargaming have balanced this vehicle and that it isn't a complete nightmare to come up against. This is what it looks like in an up close sort of format, and there you go. They haven't given us the, no, they have given us the armor, so you can pick between the 2 different tanks variants for the guns by the looks of things. So you've got this double barrel, or you've got this one huge gun with a smaller gun, so you can choose between them by the looks of things. And it does affect the armor of the tank, so you can see the mantlet gets much bigger with this big gun, smaller gun, which is kind of cool. So you've got to know how to take it out. Looks like the lower plate is pretty chunky, so it might actually bounce. It doesn't even look, well, I'm not entirely sure if it's actually just a case of being spaced armor as well. Not entirely sure. It doesn't look like it, but at the end of the day, it looks like it's quite well angled alongside being pretty thick as well. And if the other tier 10 that we have in the game, which I completely forget what it's actually called, but yep, that's perfect. I'm sure that as a content creator, that's a brilliant thing to not remember. But there is a tier 10 in the game already that I, for the love of God, I cannot remember. But either way, it is a similar sort of vehicle. It has this like big tracks. It's got a very flat front, and it's really hard to pen. Because it is just so thick that it is difficult to pen. This one probably be a similar sort of story. You've got the cupolas, which you can aim for, which are a weak point, so make sure you go in for those if you can. But these generally are quite tall if the other one's to go off. It's the Lemon Rust, by the way, so there's that one. And the Lemon Rust basically has super hard armor, and probably a similar sort of vehicle to this one. So this looks pretty cool. I'm liking the look of it. I'm not too bothered that it doesn't suit the World War II-esque thing. I mean, at the end of the day, we play an arcade game, and it's cool to see different things come into the game. I'm sure some of you might even actually use Warhammer, or use it, make Warhammer and play Warhammer. So yeah, it'll be a cool thing for those of you who are interested in Warhammer. But for me, probably won't be purchasing this one because it is 22,900 gold to get the top or the base version even. But of course you get the 50% discount, so it does come down in price. So you can get a 15% from the community event, which gives you 19,000. Then you get the 30%, which gives you 16,000 discount. 16,000 gold is how much it costs. And then the very lowest you can purchase this vehicle for, if you wait with the community event, will be 11,460 gold, which I think is pretty reasonable for a tier 10, even though, in all fairness, I wouldn't necessarily ever say that a reasonable price would be, you know, £35 or whatever it is to actually purchase a tank on a game that is supposed to be free to play. Yeah, £35 to £40 or whatever it equates to. It's just super expensive for one tank. You can literally buy an entire game for the same price. So make of that what you will. I will not be buying this vehicle, but we will be testing out for you guys to show you whether or not, if you do decide that you might buy it, whether it is actually worth getting, whether it's a bit of fun, whether it's terrible and you should definitely not buy it if you're thinking about it. But yeah, it should be an interesting one. And of course, for those of you wanting to know how to take this thing out, that video will also cover how to do that. So fingers crossed. That showcases what those are. There's also the commanders which you can buy in the store as well. So they're available for you to purchase. I'm not going to go through them all as we've already seen them. And you can also purchase the emblems in addition if you want more of them, as well as a sassy Nurgling. So either way, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, think about liking the video. And of course, if you want to check out some more, there should be some videos on screen that are similar and based around the new season as well, and some of the new season vehicles that have been released as part of this week's big update. Of course, let me know what you think of all of these tanks and the Warhammer event in general, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great weekend.